Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your General Greene, and things have really escalated the last few days. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have 35 cities in the United States. Again, try to keep it friendly to the algorithms, but unrest. Unrest, ladies and gentlemen. Please share. Please share. And I want to thank you guys so much for following me on X. We just crushed 100K on X on AMTV Media. Thank you so much. But you know what? I bet you guys can take it to 1 million because you love America like I do. 1776. You love the United States. You love the United States of America, baby. So let's get into this very serious news. Donald Trump, of course, has been actively deploying troops, National Guard, the list goes on, Marines, thousands and thousands of troops. And now we have unrest everywhere from Los Angeles, where it started, which I told you was going to be a flashpoint. Again, June 14th, June 14th, June 14th, June 14th. I told you, June 14th. Again, this was all cover to move these assets in as Donald Trump wages war against the opposition. There's a lot at work here, so it's not everything is at face value. Now we see massive unrest from Chicago to Detroit to Austin, from coast to coast, and this is developing and becoming very serious. It appears Governor Newsom is at complete war now with Donald Trump. It's almost building up into that movie. Remember the movie Civil War? Right? It was like California and Texas seceded together, which was kind of odd. And then they had a character that looked just like Donald Trump, and we know what happened to him at the end of it. And then you've got Newsom, who's like basically the opposition, the union. It's like Donald Trump, at least how it's being portrayed in the media, is like the Red Army. Isn't this weird how they're building this up? And Newsom, by the way, if you don't know, he is running for president soon in the next election. So this is like just a way he can, spin his propaganda, even though he's done a terrible job in LA, along with the mayor. I mean, remember when they said it was peaceful? Then they're burning stuff down. It's insane. So we are in a moment of history, folks, and we really need to pray about this that we have never, ever seen. I do want to commend Elon Musk, because today he still hasn't come out with a full apology, but I believe that he will. He says he deeply regrets, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, what he said about our great president. And no one's perfect. And so if he does come out with a full-blown apology, I think that we should hear that and we should forgive him, just like we would want to be forgiven again. So I am noticing that, and the liberal media is attacking him even more as a result of, him saying he regrets it. It's amazing. Like, the radical left is really at war with the American people. Also, crypto is making a massive move. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at some seagulls here next to me. You guys are kind of loud this morning. So crypto is just up only. It's been a massive explosion higher, ladies and gentlemen. Ethereum, as I predicted, is about to break a new all-time high. Today, let's look at the charts here real quick, because I do want to comment on this, because this is massive. Again, this is the huge wealth transfer that we have predicted on this channel. Up near 8% on its way to 3,000. So once we see Ethereum break 4K, lights out, we're going to go to 10K, in my humble opinion, and a lot higher. So keep your eye on that, of course. You've seen Papa John. I put out a video yesterday. I mean, can we just thank Papa John for a minute? Papa John, 808-442-2934. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted a short on YouTube. It's also on Instagram at AMTV Media and on X at AMTV Media. My dad is hunting property number 8. It is sick. Looks like Miami Vice, Waikiki Booyah. So while he's working on property number 8, I'm working on property number 9. 7 is in Thailand, of course. So if you want to get in to La Jolla Boo, okay, make sure you click the link below. Visit us at islandproject.com. That's islandproject.com. Get in now. Look, guys, it was risky when we launched and we didn't own anything. Now we own 6 properties. We have 7, 8, and 9 soon to close. So again, it's your last chance to get in to the La Jolla Boo, because we're going big, dude. We're going big. I've been looking at a lot of properties since I've been here. I've got a lot of demand from my 400 investors. They told me they want a property in the La Jolla Boo. They want it beachfront, and they want to surf out the front door, and they want a mansion. So I deliver. I deliver. Lambos, gold Rolexes, up only, 1000x tokenization. It's just how we roll. But let's talk about this massive psyop of what is to come. Because again, June 14th is building up into this massive war narrative that I believe the state wants. And the big news yesterday, which I broke, that spread all over the internet, reaching millions of views on X, is that now, with Tulsi Gabbard warning of a nuclear event, essentially Armageddon, a attack, and the positioning for what appears to be, in my view, an imminent strike against Iran. And now, even more bombshell news. One of the U.S. embassies has been evacuated in Iraq after Tehran threatens immediate strikes on U.S. bases. This comes across Associated Press, the mainstream, fake news, but they're putting it out there because, again, it's leading into the military parade June 14th. Tanks in the streets, Black Hawk helicopters, massive parade, firework show, drones in our sky, Palantir, Anduril. It's all leading up to this crescendo event. Cities on fire, Los Angeles, absolutely blazing. 35 cities now. Ladies and gentlemen, with unrest spreading in the No King's Day that I told you about here first on AMTV Media, I told you that June 14th was the big event. And, a lot of people are, there's some conspiracies out there too. Let's talk about this for a minute. People are saying that, hey, maybe these assets have been moved in advance of what they're planning for some kind of event. Could it be another lockdown? Could it be martial law? Could this be Donald Trump's, 5D chess checkmate move in terms of, he wasn't raising any eyebrows, moving all this heavy artillery ahead of what he knew was going to happen. And we've got to understand, guys, I don't pretend to say that Donald Trump is a perfect man. He absolutely isn't. I'm not perfect, but he's doing a hell of a job. Okay? Yeah, there's things I disagree on, but there's things I absolutely commend him on. I love what he's doing, and I really think he's doing a fantastic job draining the swamp. And we've seen these gloves absolutely come off in the last few days. He has nothing to lose. So what I believe is going to happen is the same thing I've been telling you for a very, very long time, and that is I'm expecting an imminent strike. This will be a joint strike by the United States government and Israel on Iran. There is an argument that it may in fact even be needed, but I'd like to hear your opinion on that. And they will be hitting, in my opinion, nuclear silos. I mean, the video, for crying out loud, the video that Tulsi Gabbard, fellow Hawaiian, put out yesterday, predicting absolutely an end of days scenario, is chilling, bone chilling. And you have to understand and ask the question, why would the director of national intelligence at the highest law of the land be getting you ready for nuclear war? Let me even play this. Let's just play this for a minute, because honestly, if this doesn't make the hair stand up on your neck, and I'm going to play that in 1 second, but I did want to mention too, Los Angeles is now in arguably martial law because they have ordered a curfew as of yesterday. And you need to follow me on X. It's very important that you do. There's a lot of content there that's not here. You know what I mean? Wink, wink, wink. So go over there at AMTV Media. But let me play this bone-chilling admission that the National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard, is planning for a world war and nuclear Armageddon event and warning the American people to get ready and get in their bunkers now.
Soil condemning survivors to agonizing deaths or lifelong suffering. A nuclear winter could follow, with smoke and ash completely blocking the sun, plunging the world into darkness and cold, killing crops and starving billions. Acid rain would scar the earth, wiping out entire ecosystems. This isn't some made-up science fiction story. This is the reality of what's at stake, what we are facing now. Because as we stand here today, closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, political elite and warmongers are carelessly fomenting fear and tensions between nuclear powers. Perhaps it's because they are confident that they will have access to nuclear shelters for themselves and for their families that regular people won't have access to. So it's up to us, the people, to speak up and demand an end to this madness. We must reject this path to nuclear war and work toward a world where no one has to live in fear of a nuclear holocaust.
All right, so why are they amplifying this rhetoric? Why is it like a Hollywood production, right? These are the logical questions that we have to ask. Well, clearly the state is planning an imminent strike on Iran, guys. They are planning an imminent event, and all of this unrest that is now building into the crescendo, which I predicted on this channel, all glory to God, but I told you June 14th, I told you they're going to move assets around, all of its logistics. You've seen nothing yet. If you thought 2020 was, hard, you've seen nothing. That was just the precursor to what they have planned for y'all coming. And this is why we built the Island Project. This is why we built our decentralized ecosystem. This is why we're out of the banks. This is why the dollar is collapsing. Jamie Dimon, warning of a depression. This is why gold and silver is rising. This is why Bitcoin is at a new all-time high. This is why Ethereum is skyrocketing. This is why they're resetting you into stable coins. The list goes on and on. So we really have to, number one, prepare ourselves, but we have to understand that they wouldn't be putting out this kind of high-level propaganda unless they had an agenda. So ladies and gentlemen, I love you, baby. I freaking love you, dude. I love you, baby. I freaking love you. So again, like and share, get this out, 1776. I am your general. Links below. Talk to Papa John. 150 units minimum to get into this and the rest of our portfolio. The 6 that we've already acquired. No bank debt. $33.5 million. Soon to be tokenized. An upcoming La Jolla Boo property. In addition to property number 8 that you saw yesterday with the Papa John, man. Love you, Dad. Thank you so much for what you're doing for Christians, for believers worldwide, what you're doing for all of our members. And I just thank all of you tuning in. Thank you for sharing. It makes a real difference. And I'm going to have extraordinary updates very, very soon. But I do believe we are on the brink of a major, 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 major strike.